Hello, everyone. You can see me? You can hear me?
Yes, we can see you, teacher. Hello there. Hello, everyone.
Hello, excellent. I think that now we are here in our beautiful channel. Hello, everyone. How are you today? Okay, today we have different people for different countries, teacher Luis.
Yes, hello there. It's a pleasure to be here. It's really nice that we start to see some people gathering here in this live stream. So we're pretty excited to share some mathematical knowledge today. Am I right, teacher?
Yeah, totally. Let me to say hello for everyone, but I think that we can say hello. Hola, todo mundo. Oi, tudo bem, pessoal? Bem-vindos, sejam bienvenidos. Welcome for our geometry craft. It's our beautiful class for mathematics, like it's our class here in Genuine. This is Genuine School. I'm the teacher Juana. I'm teacher for middle school, and I really love to teach here. This is an excellent way to learn when we do different things at the same time. In that moment, I'm speak for you from Seattle, United States. Yes, and let me to introduce my partner too. This is the teacher Luis Ursola. Luis, you can hear me?
Yes, hello, teacher, and welcome everyone to this beautiful session of, as you can see, Geometry Craft, right? So, let me introduce myself a little bit better at the beginning. My name is teacher Luis Fernando Ursola. I am a mathematics teacher as well here at Genuine, but different than teacher Juana, I teach on high school. I have been teaching on high school for a couple years now, and I'm pretty happy to always share this mathematical knowledge by this new way, which is sharing by a screen, right? Because sometimes we feel like we're at home, alone, right? But this feeling of being together in a mathematics class here in the screen, it's pretty amazing. So yeah, that's kind of the things that we do here at Genuine School every day, connecting with a lot of purpose. So I'm pretty glad to be here. Thank you so much, Teacher Juana, for the introduction.
Thank you too. Yeah, guys, we need to tell you something about Jenny. In Jenny, that I tell you, we have used our passions, our hobbies, our favorite things to learn. In some occasions, in another classes, you can use the fabulous programmation. You can use your artistic abilities in all the things that you created here for your school and for the life. I feel that the most important thing is that we can use all of the resources in our life here in Genuine to learn all about for the different subjects. So let me to show you how we present our math class here in Genuine. Today for our favorite game, Minecraft. In Genuine, we have the lessons for Minecraft education, and this is an excellent way to teach some of our classes. So we have today our objective and different steps like our normal class. So, teacher Liz,
Yes, of course. It will be a pleasure to share what is the goal of today. So, today we're going to gather here together to learn and understand how to calculate the area and the perimeter in different shapes by creating and measuring structures in Minecraft. So, that will be a pretty beautiful goal that we can achieve playing a little bit. And for that, we need some steps, right? So, the first step, as we just saw, is the welcome to this beautiful session, gathering together, making a comfortable and really safe space here around. And then we can start by, well, looking at the area, right? So we want to find the area of quadrilaterals by building shapes in Minecraft. Then, once we're done with that part of the area, we can move on to calculate the perimeter of irregular shapes in this game, right? So, with that at the end, we can share our work and we can explain the concept of area and perimeter to the whole class using our game, right? For today as well, I would like to share that we have some keywords, which are words that we use in our classes every time to make sure that we understand the punctual and important concepts. What are those words for today? So, for today, we have the keywords area, perimeter, quadrilaterals, and Minecraft as the game itself. So,
wait,
teacher,
that sounds equal for in our native language, that is the same thing like we write it like the same in Spanish and in Portuguese is área, perímetro, quadriláteros, and nosso jogo Minecraft. That's so good. The English is very similar.
yes, it's quite nice to see that mathematics transcends language, right? And we can understand easily, even though that maybe we're not that good in English right now, and we can become really proficient at the English in genuine, that we can understand this without going that further. So that's quite amazing, teacher. Yes, good point.
That's so cool. I really love to learn different language too at the same time, but mathematics is a universal language. I love that for the math. Well,
Yes.
if we have a goal, we have a question here.
Yes, indeed. There is a question around.
Okay, so the question is how much can help you build better in Minecraft? It's possible,
Yeah.
teacher Luis?
Yes, I think so. Well, I think that we can use the mathematic tools that we have around to master Minecraft and maybe get a proficient building of structures. Do you want to see how we can do it, teacher?
Okay, so let's do discover.
Okay, so in the chat, it will be amazing to start seeing people excited to go to the game and learning how we can build things using math on Minecraft. So right away, we're here inside of the game, right? I would love to see everybody there getting excited on the chat. So you can see that I'm here in this beautiful landscape that we see around. There's a lot of mountains, and I think I'm right now here around a desert. So I do remember that I have a partner around here, so let's go and look for her. Indeed, I see that all of this is quite amazing. Like we do have a beautiful desert around, and that's a landscape that I love indeed. Oh, look at that. There's someone moving around there. Let's go. Oh, who's this? Hi, teacher Juana. How's it going?
Hi.
Oh,
Nice
it's
to see
nice
you
to find you.
again.
Yeah, it's really nice to find you here in this world. So, what are you doing? What are you
Okay,
doing
I'm
here?
built this perfect mine, and you can find the final of the world here in Minecraft if you enter.
Oh my God, so you were mining. That's quite deep. I can see there's quite scary. I don't want to go inside of there, teacher.
Be careful because we have bats too.
Oh, there's bats around. Oh, that's quite crazy. But that's quite beautiful. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. And there's a lot of animals around, right? But do you know what, teacher? I love this like beautiful landscape that we have around all of the desert and stuff. But do you remember that the other day I told you that I wanted to build a garden? So I don't know if you have had do it. Like, have you built a garden here in the map?
Yes, I do it. Here in this desert, we need to some green, so come with me and I show you my beautiful garden.
Oh, that's amazing. Let's go. I would love to see it. How are you flying? I would love to fly
I
like you
use a
do.
double kick here in my control.
Oh, that's amazing. We can fly like that. That's really, really cool. Let's go down again. Oh, and yeah, I do see that here in the middle of all of this like dusty desert, you have that beautiful garden around. So it looks pretty colorful. What do you have in here, teacher?
I have some orchids, some daisies here. I think orchideas because I'm Colombian, is my national flower. We have some grass here and lilies too.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, I am from Colombia as well, and I love orchideas because they're so beautiful and there's a lot of species about them, right? So, do you know what? I find this garden really, really interesting, and I would love to buy it. But in order to buy it, I would love to know how big is this garden. So, is there any way that we can tell how big is this garden?
We think, if I remember when I studied in the school, we see something like area. You want to show how we calculate how is the bigger this garden?
Yeah, I would love to see how big is this garden. Do you say that we can use the area?
Yes, the area.
What is that? Please
Let
explain it
me
to
to
me.
show you.
Amazing.
Well, basically, area is the amount of the space inside for a shape. Or like we call it like a surface. A surface like our decks, our tables, or some occasions our floor. Okay. For illustrate you better, I need that you help me with one exercise. You have a recycled paper.
Oh, yes, I do remember that you told me. So, yes, I brought my recycled paper. So, what do you say? Maybe people in the chat can get a paper as well?
I think maybe if in your house you find a recycled paper, si en suas casas vocês têm uma folha de papel reciclável, se tienen una hojita de papel reciclable, we can use it here in our space, like the teacher Luis have it.
Oh, and I think we need some scissors as well. Well, they're not quite
Yep,
necessary,
we
right?
need the scissors too. Please don't use your tears to eliminate our things here. I really need the scissors. Okay, you have it all the materials.
Yes, of course. I do see here. I hope that people on the chat can get them as well. I do see here my paper, my scissors. I think I'm prepared, but I don't know how a paper can let me understand the concept of area. We were in a mathematics class, not in an art class. Am I right?
So that in the beginning I tell you we use all of the abilities. The first of all, I really love to recycle. I don't like that you please don't use another materials. But in this case, I need that you use your inspiration and draw one shape. Maybe a triangle, maybe this I create that a rhombus, or you can create at a square or rectangle. So just to draw in, please, like that.
Yeah, that's
That's my
amazing.
shape here.
Let me have it. All right. I think that I do have it, teacher. So I just have to draw it. Am I right?
Yes, just to draw in.
Okay. So let's see. Okay, so I just draw a diamond like this.
Excellent. Like
Is it
me.
okay? Can you see
That's
it?
gay.
I think,
Yes.
yeah, we can see it.
Now I need that you cut. So be careful because the idea is no cut the sides, only cut the shapes. You can put in the middle, okay, in the half of our paper and cut a little for our beautiful diamond, you said, our rhombus.
Yeah, I think that it's like this. Am I right? Can you see me
Yes, of
through the
course.
rhombus?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
It's
that's
like that one.
amazing. Yeah.
You see that
So,
here we have something under that. This is our space. This space for this shape is the space that are inside for our shape. And now we don't have nothing. That is the area, the space inside for a shape. Now you know, now you can see it our screen if you put your eye.
oh,
Yes. You
it
eliminate the
makes me
background.
disappear. But
Yeah.
I think that we can get the idea. Am I right?
I'm right. Correct. Everyone, let me to show if you don't have a piece of paper in that moment, you can show my screen. This is my digital piece of paper. And if you see here, I cut it to digitally my shape. And here I have a space here. That's my area. So to recognize the area, it's like to contain how many little squares fit inside for that shape. For example, here if a rectangle, I'm gonna start to count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's so much to count in. I don't really like to count too much. I'm distracted. So I really need to use another element. In this case, I use the math here. So I I read all here for the squares fit inside. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here, I can use something that I remember for all of my life. The multiplication, of course. Yeah, in the multiplication, can I multiply 5 and 9? What do you say? We have a result of that one?
Yes, I think so. I do remember tables of multiplication. Those were
I use my
amazing.
hands because I don't remember so much the table of
Mm,
the nine. So I remember it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think that is 45.
yeah, it's
I
real
have 4 here
cool.
and 5 here.
Good
Yes, that's
trick.
something that I remember. Yes, guys, result that we can use the multiplication, but if you see, I only count 5 spaces. So we have two options. The first option is to start to count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and continue to counting, or use the multiplication for our favor. In that case, in our geometry shapes, we need to recognize different elements: the base and the height. Okay, with those two elements we can count or calculate all of the areas. Okay, but in some occasions some shapes are special. Okay, but it's very important to recognize what is the height and what is the base in our shapes. That is the first of all. Okay, so in this case we have a block of Minecraft, but if we see the top is a surface. Yes, only focus in the top for our shape. Yes, in the top we have a perfect square. So if we have or we focus in this perfect square, we can calculate the area square by square. So in our shape, remember that we have a perfect square in the top of our blocks. Yes, and we need to count the height and the base. Yeah, when we have these two elements, we need to measure. Of course, in this case is 1 u. In this case, u is the unit because it's just one. Okay, we don't know if it's our centimeters or they have meters. Here in Minecraft, we have blocks. In this case,
Mm,
units. And we have our height that is units. When we do these multiplications, we multiply the base and the height. We know that it's 1 times 1. In that occasion, our result it's one, of course, but here we have something different for our calculus, our unit and a square. Okay, so unit squared is the new word that we use here. That is a unit square. This will represent with this 2 in the power of 2. Remember that this is our unit square. Okay, that is a new thing that we use it here to represent the algebra. Now we know because we need to count the both sides, the base and the height. If that one is clear for you, now we can pass for our beautiful shape. So just to
now,
remember,
yes, teacher, I do have a question because I when I move on Minecraft, I don't know if I am moving just one block or maybe half a block or two blocks at the same time. So, how much is one step in these terms?
okay, if you use your control and move Joy-Con just like a little bit up, okay, you can like a one block is one step. Okay, like here, one block is one step. Okay, just consider and have that in mind, guys.
That's amazing, teacher. Thank you. So, it's just one step per block. Am I right?
Yes, one step per block.
That's amazing.
Well, now it's just to remember we need the height and the base. Okay, And now we have our multiplications to find the area. So here we have our shape. Okay, if we start to count square by square, so teacher Lisa, I have a problem here because this
Yes.
shape, if you see in that space, something happened.
Yeah, it's not a perfect rectangle, right?
Yes, notice it's irregular shape.
Wow.
So in this case, pay attention for everyone. We need to use the measure. So first of all, we counted how many squares we have, and we eliminate our space that we have here. So now we start to count then 9 blocks here, 4 blocks here, 6 blocks here, and now we need to go down 4 squares here, and 3 here, and 8 here. This is our points. We need to eliminate our space that we have empty because we don't have garden in this space. And
Yes, I
now
understand now.
Mhm. We need to use or convert our irregular shape in shapes that we know that exist because I don't know that exists the L in geometry, but I know that exists two rectangles. In that case, I illustrate with the rectangle number one and in the rectangle number two. And we founded this beautiful space. So we have the 9 squares here, the 4 squares here, the 6 units here, or the squares. Here we continue with 4 units, 3 units, or 8 units into triangles. So we need to divide it into different shapes. Now we don't use to continue to use our triangles, only we be focused in the numbers that we have here. And we calculate the area for the first rectangle and the second rectangle here. Okay? So you are with me? Okay.
Yes, that's amazing. I do see that you separated things into shapes that I know from elementary school and from like my first years at school. So how can we
Yes.
calculate the area then?
Okay. Remember that you need the basic elements, the height and the base. Yes, the height and the base. So now we need to multiply base and the height. Yes, and we have 4 units and the 9 units. You remember the order of the factors don't change the result. Yes. And if you remember, when we use our fingers, we obtain our result here. That is 36. If you don't forget it, units squared. Yeah. So that is the area for our first shape. Now what happened with the second shape? Okay. In our second shape, we have the base and the height. 4 units times 3 units is equal to 12. Yes, it's 12. And units squared. That is very important to remember. Well, what happened here? So we don't finish only we have 2 areas. Now we need to use our favorite operation in the mathematics, the addition. So please add it. What is the area 1 and the area 2? Yes, to find the total area. So now we have the total area, it's equal to the 36 units squared that we have in the first rectangle and the 12 units squared that we have in the second rectangle. That is to 48 units squared. Yeah?
Wow.
Remember, it's just like count one by one and one squares that we have here. So how do you feel? Now we have the area for my garden. Now you know that there are 48 units squared, like 48 blocks squared, I think.
Yes, and I do see it is a pretty big one because imagine that you have to place 48 squares to fill that garden. It's quite big, right? So I think I'm interested in buying it, teacher.
Yes, that is. So, and I have a question for our public now, for our new student and for you, teacher. Well, we have our garden here. Maybe exists, or what's another way that you could find the area?
Hmm, it's a pretty interesting question indeed. So let's see if we have some participations on the chat on YouTube. that can, well, help us delve out this question. So, you just explained to us in a really straightaway way that I just have to do a couple multiplications and a sum, right, to find the area. So, another way. Let's think about it. So, let's see what does people say on the chat. Let's go, my dear friends. Any idea is super welcome. And
I
I
put it
will
here
say,
our squares because if you want to found it square by square and you check if are 48, okay, you can do it. So, but exists another way.
hmm, let's think about it. And remember, everyone who's in the chat, that all opinions are valid. And that's something that we love at Genuine School. The fact that you can always share your ideas and you're always are going to be heard. All right. So don't feel bad at any case that you may have or may share an incorrect answer. The way that we learn is by sharing incorrect answers. So with that, we can learn together. Am I right, teacher?
Yes, this is a thing that I really love to genuine. Here, not exist wrong questions, not exist mistakes, not exist that one, because we'll need to learn. Here we are teachers, but not like you need to know the correct answer. No, here is the safe space that you have the possibility to ask, or you have the possibility to, for example, I don't know the question in that moment. You can guide me, and here our whole team of teachers have the beautiful heart and say, of course, we can guide you for the different questions that you have. This is an excellent space to join in. I really love when my students feel comfortable for the math because math scares sometimes, For I really
Yes.
love that one for genuine.
Yes, yes. And teacher, I think that with all of that, maybe we have some participants on the chat that are not like English speakers. So maybe can we do the question in the other languages that we do here at the school?
Of course, if you don't remember, or maybe this is your first time in Genuine, you can ask in your native language. Our team is bilingual, so we have teachers that understand all the things in Spanish and understand all of the things in Portuguese too. For example, you say, yo no recuerdo cómo decir multiplicar, teacher. So I can guide you and to say, okay, of course, you can say multiply. Or if you refer for two times, we say times. Mas você também pode me perguntar qual é a área, professora? Eu não lembro nada de eu contar os quadrinhos. Como é que eu faço? And I got you, of course, go to multiply for of the head and the base. So you need to feel comfortable for your native language because you are in the process to learn your not just two language, to learn three language here in Jenny because we are multicultural and we have people for Colombia, for Ecuador, for Brazil, for United States, for Mexico, for Honduras, for Nicaragua, for oh my god, I can mention all of the Latin American countries. And imagine
Yes.
now for extensions because we have students that are in China, in Greek. We have students like for Istanbul, so that's so amazing. For this world is so big, and we have students for all of the world. So we have
Yes,
some
teacher.
interruptions.
Yes, indeed, we have. So here Alejo is sharing with us. Like, let me read it and let's interpret it together, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
another way to find the area of that L shaped space is to split it into two rectangles. Calculate the area of each rectangle separately, length times width, and then add them together. This avoids counting. So, what do you say,
Yes.
teacher? Maybe.
I'll say that it's that the way that we do it. We have our L, but we can count like another one. So we separate this shape and this space here. That's another way that we use it like the L.
Oh, yes, indeed. That was the way. And I think that maybe we're understanding. That's pretty cool. But you know what? We have another one here. So, Isam Cookie Productions is sharing with us right now that we can multiply all the squares and subtract all the empty ones. So, what do you say about it, teacher?
I really you got it. So if we have our square, we multiply the big area here. Yes. And next we subtract only the space that are empty that now have the garden. And if we subtract that one, we obtain the area for our beautiful garden too. So of course, so thank you for Isam Cookie Productions in our chat to help us to answer this question. That's so amazing.
It's pretty amazing. Thank you so much, Sam. That was pretty cool.
Okay, but teacher, we need to increase the level because we are an expert in Minecraft and not it's just funny. So we need to pass for our change the mode in survival. So
Yes, indeed. We can, and we have to go to survival mode. So, in this case, we're going to start thinking about what can happen once our world is filled by enemies and things around. So let's check it out.
the
First of all,
creepers, it's the
yeah,
enemies.
maybe they can be around. So let's place on the game mode survival. And you were right, teacher. Creepers can come. Am I right? So they can be a lot. And my new garden, because remember, I'm buying that garden from you, in our garden in this case, will be like subjected to some menaces as the creepers or some skeletons at night, right? So we would like to protect our garden, right? So in order to protect our garden, we know that we can build a fence, right? So we can start doing the job of building a fence around it, and that will be pretty nice. And there will be no worries if I'm on creative mode because I have unlimited resources, so I can create an infinite fence if I would like to. But in this case, as you can see now that we're on survival, we need to know how many pieces of fence do we need in order to do a complete turn around our garden and protect it. So we have here a villager with us that is
Yeah,
actually with a
I
couple
see
of
that.
animals. That's pretty amazing. So what do you say, teacher? Do we start understanding how we can calculate the amount of fence that we need to protect our garden?
Oh, I always see that you put too much and you walk around, but I don't have an idea how you put it though.
Okay, so let's start finding it out. So, to find it out, we need to start talking about perimeter, right? This is a concept of mathematics that is quite related to the area, but it is quite different. So, let's start seeing how it works. First of all, you can remember that I was taking some turns around the L-sided shape, right? So you can see that I have here mapped all of my steps, right? So I have all of my steps that I took, and I was doing kind of a loop all around the garden, right? So I can say that we took n steps. Why do we say n steps? Because right now we don't know how many steps did we took. So as well as you did with the squares, we can start counting. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. So I don't want to count that many steps, right? But I can say for now, I have an amount n of steps that can be any number. So once I understand that I have all of these steps together, let's remember that these steps, it will be exactly the same thing if I take them in the L-sided shape or if I take them in a straight line. So every time we speak about the straight line, we speak about a linear measurement. What is a linear measurement? Well, basically, as we just said, it is the measurement that you can take on a straight line path, right? And for that, we can use an element such as the ruler. So we all know the ruler, we all know the ways that we can use to measure lines, right? So maybe a ruler is not enough, right? Because you can see that here I have a 10 units ruler, but it is not enough to measure all of my steps. So there is no worries with that. I can use even a couple rulers more. So with that, I can count how many steps I have in total. In this example that you're seeing right now of this linear measurement, we took 26 steps. So remember, basically what we did was to take our path that we did in a line that was a random shape, like, I don't know, imagine that you have this shape that I have here with this little rope, and you can stretch it in a right or straight line, right? So What do you say, teacher? It's clear the concept of linear measurement, so we
I've
can.
started to measure my feet because if you do that one, maybe we can calculate another perimeters that I have in my house. So if I put the measure for my feet or for my shoes in my ruler and I start to walk around for my, I don't know, my house or my room, we can find the perimeter with that.
Yes, I think so. So, in order to do it, now that you're doing that practice, maybe we can move on and understand this better, right? So, let's remember that we're talking about a linear measurement, right? So, measurement comes from the word um, that we use to know how long are things, right? So, right away, we can use that concept in mathematics to speak about contours of shapes, right? In Spanish, for short, contornos, right? So I would like to say that around the shape, I can imagine that there exists an imaginary line that I can always stretch like you're seeing right now on this circle. So, teacher, can you see that the circle is leaving a trace that becomes a straight line?
This shirt is so amazing. It's all of the contour of the circle. Wow, that is a circle like initial and now it's just a line. That's so
Yes.
cool.
Indeed. So, all of this unrolling the contour of a shape in a right line is what we used to call the perimeter. So, that's the concept indeed. So, take the outer contour of a shape and straight it in a right line. So, with that, you can measure it and you can have the amount of contour of the shape, which is defined as the perimeter. So, that's pretty cool. Let's start to see it in better stages. So now we can think about our steps that we took around our garden, right? So right away you can see that I have built the fence, but yeah, I can count visually how many pieces of fence do I have here. But instead I can count my steps because remember teacher Juana said that one step is how much, teacher? One
One
square.
block.
Oh, yes, one block is one step, right? So I can think about the amount of blocks that I have in each side, right? So you can see that here I have an amount A of steps. So A can be any number, like in the beginning we said N can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here A will represent the number of steps. Now B will represent another number of steps. So we have B steps here in the second side because the amount of steps is different. That's why we use a different letter to show it, right? So we have A steps by this side, B steps by this side, another different amount of steps, which is C steps, D steps by this side, E steps by this side, and another amount of steps by this side, right? So why are we saying that? Because remember that what we do is to stretch this path in a right line. So with that, we can find the perimeter. And that's where we can use our magic and most favorite operation in mathematics, which is which one, teacher Juanita?
Oh, the perimeter?
The addition, am I right? We can use it. So with that, we can say that all of the steps that we took all around the L shape are going to be the sum of all the steps. So I can take the first amount, sum it with the second amount, sum it with the third, sum it with the fourth, sum it with the fifth, and sum it with the sixth, right? So right away, we have an equation or an expression that helps us to find the perimeter of the side. Now, something important to see is that we can check, we're cool, by seeing that the amount of letters that we have here coincides with the amount of sides that we have. So let's count together. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 sides. So with that, we should have 6 letters on the equation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So now we can start measuring this perimeter. Now, it will be a moment to steal some measurements that teacher Juana has done from before, and we can calculate it. But let's before remember that perimeter can be found all around geometric shapes, right? So it doesn't matter if you have a basic geometric shape or if you have a really complicated geometric shape, you can always measure the perimeter. How is that? Remember that you can take one side, which in this case can be A, the light blue one, sum it with the dark blue one, which in this case is the B, and sum it with the third one, which is the white C. On this triangle, I have one, two, and three sides. I sum the measure of all of the three, and I will get the perimeter. So with that as well, I can do it on a rectangle or a square, right? So I have two equal sides in a rectangle. That is the bottom and top horizontal lines. And I have two equal sides as well, which is the left and right side vertical lines, right? So with that, the perimeter will be A plus B plus A plus B again. So what do you say, teacher? Can we find then the measurement of any kind of shape? What do you think?
I think all shapes have sides.
Oh, all shapes have sides? So what about more complicated shapes such as the circle? So in such a case as the circle, you can see that we don't have a defined side, right? Instead, we have a curve that goes all around in the same way. So for this, we need even complicated equations, I will say it, but they are complicated in the way that they have more variables, but they are really easy to use and they are quite special for these kinds of shapes. So in the case of a circle, we can find the perimeter using this one. Did you know about it, teacher?
Yeah, I see that with my seventh grade students. That is so awesome, but it's a complicated, no?
Yes, indeed. So I do see here, before we move on, teacher, that Isis Geddes was asking on the chat linear measurement. What is that, right? So let's remember that when we say linear measurement, we refer to the measurement that we can stretch in a straight line, right? So we can take the contour of a shape and we can make it a right line. For example, remember my little toy that I had here. So it doesn't look that good right now, but I think you maybe can see it. So we have this little rope, which is defining kind of a weird shape, right? So it's not a circle, it looks like a banana somehow. So you can indeed take it and you can cut it and now stretch it into a right line. That is what we call a linear measurement. So, Isis, thank you so much for your question, and let's continue. Right? So let's remember that we were talking about this special shape, which is the circle, and it has a really special equation to find the perimeter. Now we find the letter pi around there, so it's quite special for mathematics. But let's go back and let's remember our main problem. So we would like to know the linear measurement around our garden. So remember that that linear measurement refers to take the contour of the garden and stretch it into a right line. For that, I will need some measurements. So, teacher Juanita, thank you so much for the measurements of the garden. I have them from your part. So we can see that here on the left-hand side, we have the real garden. And on the right-hand side, I have the abstraction of it that I can do on a drawing, right? So we remember we have here 8 units, 3 units by here, 4 units around here, 6 units here, and 4 units here to finish with this 9 units on top. Now remember what we do is to take all of the contour of the shape, right? So remember that all of the contour is this red line that you're seeing all around the L, all right? But you can say, oh, but there is a black line that I'm not taking into account. Well, remember that is not part of the contour. The contour is just the external part of the shape. Now, once we know it, we can do a little cut in any place of that loop, and we can stretch that red line to have the addition of all of the sides of this shape, right? So we have by this side, we can start with 9 units plus 8 units plus 4 units that I have here plus 6 units plus 4 units again. And I do finish with the tiniest one, which is 3 units again. So you can check what I did was to cut this outer line and stretch it into a right line that now I can add and I can know how big it is, right? So what do you say? Can we do the sum? Yes, it's pretty easy to do that sum. So once we do the sum, 9 plus 8 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 3, we get 34 units, which is basically the amount that we have as big in our red contour, right? So, what do you say, teacher? Is that addition correctly done?
Just need to remember 9 with 4 here, we have 12, 13, and we have 6 here, we have 10 here, we have another 13. Yes, it's 34.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that is a quite good value that we can take out of the math classes at Genuine. And it's the fact that we need to always double check our results and not specifically believe the teacher because we can make mistakes here sometimes with these sums, right? And remember always to double check your results. That's amazing. So right away, once we understand it, we can remember that the units that we talk about, teacher Juana, were a square. Am I right? One
Yeah.
unit is one square. So if we have 34 units as the contour of the shape, that means that we're going to have 34 fence units around it, right? So you can check that I can use 34 pieces of fence to cover my garden and I will be completely saved by the creepers that can come around. Righty?
Unfortunately, my orchideas.
Yes, we are not going to lose our trees. And we indeed planted some seeds, right? So we want to see our trees grow, and with time, we need to protect them.
That's
That's
so
amazing.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. So let's remember the concept of linear measurement. And you will understand how a linear measurement is that important. So let's summarize our results. So, teacher Juanita, can you
So
please help
yeah,
us summarize?
basically in the area is that all of the screen of the teacher that we have here and the perimeter, the border for my screen here. In that order for the ideas, we have a different units. We have 48 units square in all of my space. Yes, with the grass, with the orchideas, with the hortensias, with all of the flowers, have these areas. But just the fancy that we have here of our protection is 34 units. So linear units not are the same thing for the quadratic units that we have here. So are totally different. We learned today two different concepts. So that's so amazing. We finished like 47 minutes is our normal classes in genuine. No, but now we need to check if our students feel good. Because in some occasions we say, that's so much topic t-shirt. So we need to practice more. And for that reason, I really want to invite you for our second class here in Genuine. So please remember that this is a beautiful invitation for everyone to study here at Genuine School. Everyone.
Yes, that's amazing, teacher. Thank you so much. So, I would love to see if people on the chat indeed understood what is the difference between a linear measurement and a quadratic measurement as you spoke, right? So, maybe some people have the question like why quadratic and why linear, right? So, if we remember the concept of exponents, we have here an exponent of 2 in the units, which makes it quadratic, right? And we have no exponent here on the units on this perimeter, which means that what is the exponent if there is no exponent, teacher Juanita?
Zero?
Are you sure?
Oh, maybe I
I will.
forgot it. What happened if we try with one?
Yes, indeed, it is the one. Thank you. So every time we see an exponent of one, it's one, we call it linear. All right. So as the exponent is one, it is not usually, well, seen on the units, but it is always there. So it'll be nice to have some interactions on the chat by this end of the class. And what do you say, teacher? Can we maybe leave our students with a little challenge?
Yes, of course. So now, guys, it's your turn. So imagine that now you create a thing in Minecraft. Please send photos for our constructions. Your construction in the software is then here, put here. But now it is your turn to calculate the perimeter on the area of your next Minecraft creation. So I wait you here. If you have any questions, you can ask us, of course. So now to say, we wait you here in our beautiful classes.
Thank you so much. And yes, indeed, we wait for all of you here to continue learning math in beautiful ways. This is not the only way, indeed. There is many, many, many ways in which we can learn math, doing many kinds of activities. And we're pretty excited to see you around in our school. So thank you so much, everyone. And I think, teacher, that we can leave space for Lady. Am I right?
Yes. So, lady, you're here with us.
Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? Hola a todos, mucho gusto. Mi nombre es Lady Morales, yo soy asesora académica de Genuine School. Nos encantó tenerlos con nosotros. Veo que disfrutaron todos mucho de esta clase tan especial que nos ofrecieron los profes. Entonces, por aquí en el chatcito les vamos a dejar un link y conocer mucho más cerca de nuestra escuela. Y nosotros como asesores estaremos felices de poderles brindar toda la información. Nosotros agradecemos mucho la asistencia de todos ustedes y esperamos que ustedes puedan hacer parte de esta maravillosa familia.
Eu vou falar para nossas famílias no Brasil. Eu quero falar bem-vindos todos. Eu espero que vocês tenham gostado deste maravilhoso espaço aqui na Genuine. A gente aqui vai estar muito atento de vocês, de qualquer informação que vocês precisarem para se inscrever na nossa escola. So, toda a equipe dos assessores vai estar muito pendente de vocês para conseguir todas as informações que precisassem por nossa escola. So, bem-vindos na Genuine.